Yes, indeed. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the broadcast. I'm your host, Josh Reeves. It is Thursday, December 31st, 2020. The final fucking day of 2020. I'm here with you. Glad to be here with you to close out 2020. New Year's Eve. Hope you all are doing well out there. Hope you all had a good Christmas, good holiday, whatever. Hope you're still having a good one. I am back here with you. I haven't had any other additional shows this week because I knew I was going to have the closeout show of 2020. And being that there hasn't been so much to cover because, you know, we're in the holidays and all that, I wanted to save everything I had for this show so we could close it out with a banger for you here tonight. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being here. Got a lot of news, got a lot to talk about as we wrap up 2020 and head into 2021. And like I said previously, I mean, I'm optimistic. We're all optimistic. Things are going to get better, but it's, I don't know. I don't see it getting better for a while. And, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I almost don't even know what to say anymore. I really sometimes don't. Because the fact of the matter is the truth is the truth. And the truth doesn't have or shouldn't have a political bent to it. It shouldn't be associated with one particular political party or another. I certainly don't see it as that, and I certainly am not associated, as you know, with any political party, left or right. It's all bullshit. They're all the same. Two sides of the same coin. Just like when I started this show, you know, I was exposing the stuff Bush was doing. Bush was in office when I started the show, 2007. Then Obama got in office. I exposed the things he did. He left. We've had Trump in. I've exposed the stuff Trump has done. Listen, I just don't think that, I don't have any faith that the incoming administration in the United States of America with Biden and Kamala Harris, I don't have any faith whatsoever that they have any vested interest in things getting any better. In fact, I believe they have a vested interest in things staying the same or getting worse. I really do. So that's the reason why, you know, listen, I as much as anybody else, I want to be optimistic, but I don't think we're heading into any more optimism. I don't think just because 2020 ends, I think 2021 is going to be much like 2020, sadly. I hope it isn't. I don't want it to be. But sadly, I think it is. You know, looking back, here's an interesting thing to think about. When you look back and you think back, look back over 2020, obviously the biggest thing that you're going to remember and think about is the pandemic. Clearly, right? For me, it's that, and for me, it's all the great musicians that we lost this year, too. It's crazy to think that that's how this year started. And it wasn't even COVID related. But that's how, for me, that's how this year started. January 7th was when Neil Peart from Rush died. And, you know, when you look back over the whole course of the year, and you think back to about a year ago, into December, 1st of January 2020, you'll remember it when I say it. But off the top of your head right now, can you remember what the big news story was at the beginning of this year? Anybody? Once I say it, you'll go, oh, yeah, that's what it was. But seriously, honestly, I wonder how many of you out there can honestly right now, without me prompting, without me telling you, can remember what the big news story prior to COVID was that everybody was talking about at the beginning of this year. Because so much has gone on since then most people don't even remember. And that was the impeachment of Donald Trump. Now you're going, oh, yeah. But honestly, did you even remember that before I said it? Because most people even forgot about it. It seems light years ago, doesn't it? It seems ages ago. But when you look at it, and you look back to that time, prior to lockdowns, prior to the pandemic breakdown, all this stuff, and you look back on how that was the big story and the cop shootings and racist stuff and all that, it's hard for me not to see a direct line from the attempted impeachment of Donald Trump, which was a massive failure, all the way through COVID to the elections to now. I see that as a direct straight line, and I think it's all related. I think that it's possible. See, I even hate fucking saying this shit. Some of this shit I hate saying because it makes it sound like that I'm like pro Donald Trump or something. I absolutely am not. Never have been. I'm not pro any of these fucking clowns. But I got to tell you, with all that's gone on, it's hard for me as a researcher and for somebody looking at the facts and looks at facts objectively. I think that maybe he was a fucking bigger threat to the powers that be than even I gave him credit for. I don't know. I mean, at the same time, he's in bed with a lot of those types, so it's hard to say that. But he's also in bed with a lot of organized crime. And if you know anything about organized crime and the mafia and the mob and all that, listen, yes, to a certain degree and at certain levels through the years, historically, certain elements of the mob and the mafia, but it's all not all one group. There are many mobs and many mafias. They're not all one tight group that acts the same way. Yes, through the years there have been mafia groups that have worked in tandem with the CIA. That's well documented. They've worked in tandem with the powers that be. That's well documented. But a lot of these groups are actually anti-establishment. They're not, in with the big power rulers of the world. And I definitely think that there's a possibility that he was a bigger threat than even I gave him credit for. I think it's a possibility. I mean, looking at all this stuff and seeing how the waters were pretty much calm, everybody thought it was a shoo-in to get him impeached. And then as soon as he's not impeached and that fails, boom, we're in the middle of the pandemic, and boom, next thing you know, we're at elections, and boom, next thing you know, he's out of there. I don't know. I got to be honest with you. When I'm looking back at 2020 and all this happened, and I'm thinking back and reflecting on all this stuff, for me, that's all I see. Now, whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. But for me, that's all I can see. All I can see is that we start out this year with a failed impeachment attempt, and then now we're here with with Biden and Kamala Harris, and Biden and Fauci are fear-mongering more than ever right now. I mean, they're saying shit's going to only get worse. These people have a vested interest in this stuff getting worse. The worse it gets, they've already botched the whole vaccination program thing by this attempt thing. This way they set it up to deciding who is going to get vaccinations first and what groups and stuff. They botched the whole thing. Instead of it's now they're way behind. All of this stuff is intentional. They want to act like this is out of our hands and blah, blah. No, it's all intentional. They don't want this stuff to get better. It gives them more power, and it gives them more ability to restrict freedoms and to enact things in the name of COVID, just like they enacted things in the name of 9/11 and terror attacks and all that stuff. They don't have a vested interest in this stuff getting better. They have a vested interest in this stuff either staying the way it is for as long as possible or getting worse. And now all of a sudden they bust out. Now we've got a new super variant, new super strain of it. You know, oh, just when you thought, okay, here's the vaccine, Trump's out. No. Now we've got a new super variant. Oh, blah, blah, blah. It's bullshit. And listen, I believe wholeheartedly this whole thing is a massive operation that, again, is a war on humanity. It's a continued war. It's a continued element of the war on humanity. 100%. There's just no way to see it as anything else other than that. And, listen, as much as anybody wants to hate on Donald Trump, and again, I'm no fan of him, I think anybody would choose to go back to the way things were prior to all this stuff happening. I mean, things weren't bad, were they? I mean, in retrospect, in comparison to the way it is now, at least businesses were open and people had jobs and you could go see a stand-up comedy show or a concert or something. I mean, all these people who now are out of jobs, can't work, and all the rest of it. And you look at Wuhan. I saw footage from Wuhan. They're partying in the streets of Wuhan tonight for New Year's Eve. No social distancing whatsoever. There's crowds of hundreds of thousands of people all jammed in together. This is where that thing supposedly started at, and they're partying like it's fucking 1999 over there. Again, I think this thing was absolutely designed to do exactly what they're doing with it, and I think that everything's going according to plan for them. That's it. I mean, for me, that's the sum total of 2020 right there. And they keep pushing it back. Remember how when they told us? People forget, again, stuff goes down the memory hole and people forget. Remember when they told us earlier in the year that by summertime it would be over? But once they started realizing, again, the gravy train's too good for them. Those guys aren't missing any paychecks. They think that we're going to fucking be placated with little bullshit, little $600, whatever. Those guys aren't missing any. None of those politicians are missing any paychecks. None of them are losing their jobs. None of them are out of work. It's business as usual for them. And meanwhile, the tech companies and all this stuff are making trillions. That's who ought to have to pay. They ought to make fucking Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and fucking whoever else, all those guys have made fucking trillions off the pandemic. That's who they ought to make pay for the fucking stimulus checks. Those guys get out of paying fucking, they get out of paying any kind of tax anyway. That ought to be their tax. They ought to have to pay for the fucking stimulus checks. Anyway, that's me. I can't sum up 2020 any better than that for you. That's the way I see it. Anyway, regardless of all that, just like everything else in life, this too will pass. Yeah, it's going to take longer than we expected to or hoped it to, but this too will pass. But what are we going to have to endure before it does? That's my question. That's what I want to know. And that's the only thing that I see. But, I still, I don't know. I'm still the eternal optimist, though. Regardless of all this, I'm still the eternal optimist. And regardless of COVID and regardless of all this other bullshit, for me personally, I've got a shit ton of more work to do. Exposing these fuckers, exposing things that don't even have anything to do with COVID. I've got so many great things in the works with my films, with what we're going to be doing in 2000. That's what I'm excited about 2021 for. Fuck everything else. Fuck the pandemic and fuck Fauci and fuck Kamala Harris and fuck Sleepy Joe and fuck Trump and all the rest of those cocksuckers. I'm personally excited for what we're going to do in 2021 with my work and the films and everything else. So I raise a glass to you here. But we're not out of the woods yet. and we've still got to survive and make it to 2021. Thankfully, since tomorrow is a holiday, first I've got a little bit extra time to raise our operating costs of the month, but I got till Monday, so we've got to reach 100% of our operating costs goal by Monday, folks. So please dig deep. I didn't really give a big push at Christmas. Some people contributed, and I really appreciated that, but all I want for Christmas and all I want for the New Year's is for you to contribute and help us reach 100% so we can continue into 2021, because I got so much to do, and I'm so excited now that we've got a new computer. New films are going to be coming over the horizon very soon. And we've still got the fundraiser going on for the Spellcasters 2 and 3. That would even be, we got about 1,500 left on that to go. I mean, that would be the cherry on top of if we could reach that goal too. But really right now, the most important thing is that we reach 100% of our operating cost goal by Monday, guys. So please put all available funds towards that and help us so we can stay alive and continue in 2021, because we're on the verge here finally of some big breakout stuff happening with my films, and I'm totally excited for that. We're shooting tonight in video yet again, doing the simulcasted video. If you haven't checked that out, we've got a couple up in the download store. I'm going to start doing these on a regular basis. In addition to the regular audio version of the show, you'll be able to purchase the audio video version of the show in the download shop, shot in 4K. And so there, I'm waving at the camera. So be sure to check that out. We're shooting that here tonight for you as well. What else? Oh, also until midnight. I may extend it till midnight tomorrow night on the 1st as well, just in case there's any people last minute they haven't gotten one of these. I can't believe we haven't sold any of these through Christmas or through anything else. You still got time to get all my work. The complete collection, all my work, all my films, all my presentations, all my audiobooks, everything you can get in the download store. Look, it's already a discounted price. $175 is already a discounted price. That's its regular price, but it's on sale now for $100. So if you want to get one of those, you still got time to get it until midnight on New Year's Day. So go and do that. Bitcoin. People have been asking about that for a long time. We have a Bitcoin wallet set up now. If you want to contribute, make a donation using Bitcoin, you can do that now. You can find the links. I put it up on Facebook on our two Facebook pages. I put it up there, and it'll also be in the links that where you normally find all the stuff on the videos for the links to the campaign pages and all that. You can find the link to the Bitcoin wallet if you want to contribute in Bitcoin. People have been asking me to do that for years, and I've just never really done it because I honestly never really wanted to fuck with Bitcoin or anything, cryptocurrencies and all that. But a lot of people had been asking, so we've got that. And, people for years have kind of wanted, I guess, an anonymous way to contribute. Well, you got it now, so check that out. Go find that. If you need trouble finding, if you need to know what my Bitcoin wallet address is to send money to, if you can't find it in the links, just email me, globalrealityshow@gmail.com, and I will send you over the Bitcoin wallet link. All right? But please, please, please help us reach 100% by Monday so we can stay alive. And that's the big goal right now, is to just reach our operating cost goal this month so we can pay the bills and not go under. And then after that, we'll worry about raising the rest of the funds for Spellcasters 2 and 3, all right? We don't have much to go on that either. But, if there are any miracle workers out there with deep pockets, if any of you guys can come forward and help us maybe reach both of these goals right now, that would just be a Christmas miracle, a New Year's miracle, beyond anything that would really fucking kickstart us into 2021. Any amount helps. Obviously, the larger the better, but just everybody, please contribute what you can, all right? Let's see, what are we going to get into first? I don't even know. Let's get into the news. So much to talk about, I don't know where to begin. I've talked about this many times through the years, how there's always stuff in these bills that they slide in through the back door that don't have anything to do with the bill at hand. Same thing with COVID. Sliding on. We talked about that, fucking gender studies shit for people in Pakistan or some of this weird stuff they try to slide in there. This one, though, to me is the craziest one and the biggest one, and the one that proves beyond any shadow of a doubt what I've been telling you about the staged alien invasion scenario and phony disclosure. COVID-19 bill started a 180-day countdown for UFO disclosures. President Trump's signature Sunday on the $2.3 trillion COVID-19 relief and government funding bill started a 180-day countdown for the Pentagon and spy agencies to say what they know about UFOs. The provision received very little attention, in part because it wasn't included in the text of the 5,593-page legislation. Jesus. But as a committee comment attached to the Annual Intelligence Authorization Act, which was rolled into the massive bill. The Senate Intelligence Committee, chaired by Senator Marco Rubio, said in a comment that it directs the Director of National Intelligence, in consultation with the Secretary of Defense and the heads of other such agencies, to submit a report within 180 days of the enactment of the act. So what's 100 days? 6 months?